every week during that video, I feel like in the dark, I want to do like boxing training. Doesn't it feel a little like Rocky-ish to you guys? Like, I'm like, I got to move or something, and I'm always sure I'm going to see the Nike swoosh at the end, like, just do it. Anyway, hey, speaking of just do it, you done did it. You guys came to church. Come on, give me some air high fives, some air fist bumps, some air elbows. I love that. And I tell you all the time, I'm so glad you're here. And I know you might think I just say it like that's like a routine thing. I mean it. Because otherwise it would just be me in here. And I do not want to be here by myself, okay? So I'm so glad you guys are here. And one of the things I know about the basement is every Sunday is somebody's first Sunday. And if that's you, welcome to church. I'm so glad that you're hanging out. And I actually missed half the worship set because I was talking to a first-time guest from the 9 o'clock service out in the lobby. And so I know there's a lot of first-timers. I'm so thankful for you guys. And I spend my time after the service talking to folks who are first-timers in the lobby. So come see me afterwards. I got a gift for you. And it's just my way of saying, hey, thanks for coming to the basement. And if at any point during today's message you forget that you're in a basement, you just have to look at these pipes over here to be reminded, okay? So that's Casabola's, we hope, water lines. Okay, so anyway, glad you guys are here. And if you're not here, that means you're joining us online. So what's up, online family? Thank you for tuning in. And listen, if you're watching online and you're in like Lewis and you're so close, you can like put up your window and look at us, all right? Listen, the best place to experience Bay Shore is in the basement. And so I don't say that as like to make you feel bad. I just say it like plan a Sunday to come hang out in the basement. Because isn't it best in person? Isn't it the best place to be in person? I think so. And so come hang out with us. We're glad you are here. And I'm going to get rolling in today's message. But first, I don't know if you noticed, we started the service late today. I don't think we've ever started the service late before. But I've worked in the church long enough to know that during the week, there's little like church gnomes that run around this place and unplug things and plug things in the wrong places. Some of you have that same gnome running around your house on your TV, okay? Anyway, things were all squirrely today, and so thank you for being patient with us. And I always tell people, like, we do this live. Like, we do it live, and I just know the band or the production team, they're trying to figure stuff out. They may feel discouraged. Can you just encourage them? These guys are amazing. They do it live every week. I'm so thankful for these guys. I really am. And I know what it's like to be like, feel like things are going sideways and be on the stage, because that happens to me once a week, actually. No, I love these guys. They're so great, and the guys in the back did an amazing job. And we're in this series called You Matter. And here's how I want to start today. I was shocked this week to find out who turned 30 this summer. Now, have you ever been shocked when you find out somebody's age in a good way? Or in a not so good way? Come on, somebody. No, but in my mind, they were way younger than 30. Like, way younger. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, he's talking about me. No, I'm not talking about you. You look good, though. You guys look great. But do you know who turned 30 this summer? All right, we have a picture. I'll show you. This is the movie Jurassic Park turned 30 this summer. Come on, somebody. I never said it was a person. I just made you think it was. Listen, this is the greatest dinosaur movie of all time. It is. Any Jurassic Park fans in the room? Anybody like Jurassic Park? Oh my goodness. And can you believe it's 30 years old, people? I'm curious, who saw it in the theater? Who remembers back in those days? Some of you look way too young to raise your hand, but that's all right. Liar, liar, pants on fire in church. If you're like under 30 and raise your hand. 30. And I was 10 years old in 1993 when this came out. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened because my parents actually let me go see Jurassic Park. And that was a big deal because in my house, I wasn't allowed to watch nothing. I couldn't watch The Simpsons. I couldn't watch He-Man. I definitely couldn't watch Married with Children. Come on. Some of you, I just named your favorite 3 TV shows, okay? You know what I was allowed to watch when I was a kid? The 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. Who remembers that? You remember that? Oh yeah, all 7,354 minutes and it was 2 VHS tapes. And so when my parents let me watch Jurassic Park, it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I'll never forget like the T-Rex scene when he eats the guy off the toilet. I was like, I've never seen nothing like that in 10 Commandments. And so I've realized this week that my kids now are about the same age that I was when I watched Jurassic Park for the first time. And so the other day I was like, kids, do you want to watch one of the greatest movies of all time? And anytime I say, let's watch a movie, they're like, yes. I'm like, it's got dinosaurs. And they're like, yes. And they're like, is it new? Is it like the new Super Mario Brothers movie? And I'm like, no, it's a few decades old. And they're like, come on, Dad. But I was like, it's good. You're going to love it. And so we were watching it, and I couldn't wait for them to see the first dinosaur. Because when I saw that in 1993, I was like, that's a real dinosaur. That is real. And so, you remember the first dinosaur scene? I think we have a picture. We'll throw up on the screen. Yeah. And so we get to this scene. This is a CGI masterpiece to me in 1993. And my kids are like, ew, it looks so fake, Dad. I'm like, what? And they're like, why do you make us watch your movies from the 1900s? And that's when it hit me that Jurassic Park to them was as old as 10 Commandments was to me. Yeah, and I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Some of you just did too. But Jurassic Park is 30 this summer. Jurassic Park, happy birthday if you're watching this. Happy birthday. But it's not just Jurassic Park's birthday today. It's also my brother's birthday, okay? And so we have a picture we'll throw up. This is my brother. Sorry, Tim, this is the best photo I had on my phone. You're working out with your cat and your breathing strip. You'll see it if you look. I love my brother. My brother is one of my favorite people on earth. He is smart. He is kind. He's super generous. He's strong and works out with his cat. And my brother's hairy. Okay, we don't call him Tim Selleck for nothing. Tom Selleck, anybody? And here's another thing. Our friend Sean has a biblical joke. He says that Tim is Esau and I'm Jacob. Sorry, it's a Genesis joke. A little niche, okay? But I love my brother, and my brother, his birthday today, he's not in the room because he is actually spending the summer in Portugal with his family, but he's watching right now. So I thought on 3 we could all shout, happy birthday, Tim. Are you game? Can you do that? Okay, on 3. The last service got it wrong. I didn't even count and they started saying it. And I'm like, you guys don't follow directions, but you are 10:30. You follow directions. Okay, so I'm going to film this. On 3, you say, happy birthday, Tim. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Tim. Woo! Happy birthday, Tim. All right, somebody said, happy birthday, Tim Selleck, and that's messed up. It's his birthday, okay? Anyway, I'm curious, speaking about birthdays, is anybody celebrating a birthday today, or you did last week, or this week coming up? Anybody in the room? Anybody? Are you serious? Okay, I have a gift for you. This is a Bay Shore coffee mug, but there's a little surprise Starbucks card in there. I don't know if you go there or not, but happy birthday to you, sir. Anybody else? Don't be shy. I got more back there. Okay, we're going to pass this back. She looks young, but she can take Starbucks. Okay, give that girl some Starbucks. Back there? Okay, you're going to pass it all the way to the back. Just keep passing it all the way to the back. That's how we're going to do it. Happy birthday. Listen, nobody said it was their birthday until I started giving things away. Did you notice that? It's like, that's not my birthday. Oh, you're giving things away? Yeah, it was my birthday yesterday and tomorrow. Did I miss anybody? Okay, well, happy birthday. Did I miss somebody? Oh, right there. Here you go.
It's Casey's birthday.
Oh, she's in the back. Well, Casey back in the back. Happy birthday. She's watching babies, and so she's working on her birthday. That's amazing. So tell her happy birthday. But birthdays, people, hey, isn't it true? You know your birthday. And who knows their birthday? We know our birthday. By the way, if you'd like to know, mine is December 1st. Go ahead and maybe write it down in your notes. I like Cash, Nicola's, Tacoma trucks, all the things, Mountain Dew. No, we know our birthday. Now, if you're good, you might know your spouse's birthday, but I'm not going to do a poll because we don't need anybody in trouble. If you're real good, you know your kids' birthdays. Okay, we're talking about the mothers, not the dads. Some of you know your pet's birthday because you're a weirdo. And I'm a weirdo too. I know my pet's birthday, yeah. You might know those birthdays, but you know your birthday. Isn't it true? You know the date of your birthday? But did you know you could have 2 birthdays? Did you know this? You can have 2 birthdays. I have 2 birthdays, and we'll throw them on the screen. This is December 1st, 1982, and March 1st, 1987. All right, these are my 2 birthdays. And the first one is my actual birthday. I was born at PRMC in Salisbury, Maryland, and I came out screaming and crying like a Philadelphia Eagles fan at the Super Bowl last year. Okay, so I don't know why I say this stuff. My team wasn't even in the game. Okay, so anyway, but I came out screaming. I had hair. Hello. But that was my birthday, and then on March 1st, 1987, was my spiritual birthday. That's the day that in my family living room next to my brother, like me and him both gave our lives to Jesus. Me and Tim Selleck gave our lives to Jesus right there. And honestly, without this bottom date, I wouldn't be on this stage right now. I wouldn't be your all's pastor right now. Honestly, I'd be a little scared to think of where I would be. You know what I mean? But you could have 2 birthdays, and maybe you have 2 birthdays, and you might not remember the actual date, okay? Maybe you just remember, hey, I was 8 years old, and I got saved in Miss Connie's Sunday school class. Or I got saved in that little old church with the pews, the ones that when you fell asleep in, it creaked, like, woke everybody up. Or I got saved when we were on a road trip, and my wife was driving. Listen, a lot of people get saved in that passenger seat. But you maybe have 2 birthdays. And here's the thing. I tell you all that because if you have 2 birthdays, if you are a Jesus follower, I hope during today's message, you straight up celebrate that you have a spiritual birthday. And if you have 1 birthday because you're not a Jesus follower, I 100% believe that August 6th, 2023 is going to be the day that some of you all get saved. Like this is going to be your spiritual birthday. Today is it. Happy birthday. This is going to be the day. This is good. Thank you. I'm excited about it. And I actually have somebody who's going to sing you a happy birthday. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit. This is Happy Birthday. Nick Lachey singing you happy birthday on your spiritual birthday. Some of you don't know. There's a story to that video. Years ago, we paid Nick Lachey to sing our church happy birthday. And so there it is. He is singing happy birthday to you. Hey, that's my setup. We're going to talk about some birthdays, some spiritual birthdays today. And if you've been tracking with us during this series, we've been looking at a guy in the Bible, and we'll throw his name on the screen. The guy in the Bible that we have. I think he's coming. See, there it is. Okay, hey. All right, wait. There's a fun way to say this. I'm going to ask you every week. Who remembers it? Nah, man. See, I love this church. You guys pay attention. Then there's the correct, boring way to say it. What's the right way to say it? Name it. It's not nearly as fun. I don't think it's as fun. But if you're here's the quick recap. Naaman or Naaman is, he is an army commander for Aram. And they're the bad guys, okay? This is like God's enemy. But even though this is like God's enemy, like God was blessing Naaman, giving him good things, giving him victories. Everything is good in Naaman's life except one little thing. Naaman, he's got skin like falling off of him. Like if you ever get a pedicure done and they work on your heels with the cheese grater, you know, but I think of it like a drywall sander, like your skin's going all over the place. Okay, this is Naaman. He's got skin falling off, and it's not dandruff. This is not a head and shoulder situation. He has leprosy. And so he also has a maid who says, hey, Naaman, okay, you're peeling like a banana right now, man, and so you need to get this figured out. And so she says, I know a guy. You need to go to Samaria, see Elisha, and he's going to fix you up. And what do you think Naaman said? Nah, man. Okay, and last week we watched Naaman go everywhere in his life other than where God wanted him to go. Hello, can you relate? And so finally, at the end of last week's message, we see Naaman. Okay, he gets in his little car and he's like, drives over to Elisha's house in Samaria, and he's like, hey, Elisha, help me. Okay, sorry for the skin trail in your front yard. It's not dandruff, it's skin. Okay, it's leprosy. And he finally shows up. He finally shows up at Elisha's in Samaria. So that's where we pick up, starting in verse 10, and it says this, but Elisha didn't even come out of the house. He sent a messenger out to him, Naaman, with this message. Go and wash yourself. Now, let's read this on 3. 1, 2, 3. 7 times in the Jordan River. Then your skin will be restored, and you will be healed of your leprosy. And so, Elijah's house is in, anybody remember? Samaria. Okay, now according to the Google Maps, the Jordan River is 32 miles that way. And so Naaman's got to go 32 miles that way and take 7 baths in the Jordan River. Now, would you agree this is going to take some dedication? Would you agree to this? Listen, I was sitting in my living room yesterday, and I wanted some water. And I could see my Yeti cup in my kitchen from the couch. And I thought, I choose dehydration. I wouldn't even go to the kitchen, y'all. And Naaman, he's got to go, his healing isn't in the kitchen. It's in the Jordan River, 32 miles that way. So this is going to take some dedication. Now, here's what I know about people. People are dedicated to all sorts of weird stuff. Now, like, for instance, the other day, I was at the beach, and I saw somebody take dedication to a whole nother level, okay? I was sitting there, and I did like a quadruple take. Okay, or more than a quadruple take, but I don't know what comes after quad, so let's stick with quad. Okay, I'm like, what is going on? And me and Stacy, we're just sitting there, okay, just trying to, enjoy ourselves. And something passed by in front of us that I was like, honey, are you seeing this right now? Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? And let me describe what I saw. I saw a motorized beach wagon. And it did not have wheels. It had like tank trek situation, and it was huge. It had all the families, all their chairs, beach bags, umbrellas. People bring some weird stuff to the beach. It had all that stuff in there. And the craziest thing is, a guy was controlling it with a remote control. Now, I know some of you think I'm making this up. This must be a pastor story. And so I took a picture because I wanted to prove to you that I tell true stories. And so here is a picture of what I saw on the beach that day. Take it in, people. All right. Do you see the tracks, like the tank tracks? Now look in this guy's hand. That is the remote control. And I want you to look at this guy, this other hand. This hand right here. It's got nothing in it. And what you feel in your heart right now, that's the sin of jealousy. That's what that is. I was blown away. And so my wife was like, hey, where'd you buy it? And I'm thinking, well, we can't afford it anyway. And he yelled back, he's like, I didn't buy it. I made it. I'm like, I'm 99% sure this guy's from Pennsylvania. I'm 100% sure he's got a Salt Life sticker on his Pennsylvania tag. But this man is my hero, okay? How much money would you pay for this? Anybody? I mean, I'd sell a kidney, a kid, my wife's minivan. I mean, I'd go all out. I'd go deep on this. This takes dedication. Would you agree? Yeah. Okay, so back to Naaman's story. Elisha is like, hey, do you want to get healed? And Naaman's like, oh, you know I do. And Elisha's like, let's see how dedicated this guy is. I want you to go 32 miles that way and take 7 baths in the Jordan River. Now, why the Jordan and why 7 times? Well, in the Bible, 7 represents completion. Everybody say completion. Okay, and the Jordan River eventually represents Jesus because Jesus is baptized in the Jordan River. And so it represents completion and Jesus. Everybody say completion and Jesus. It's almost like, and we can throw verse 11 back up there. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Don't throw verse 11 up. This next thing, if you could throw that next line up there. It's almost as if Elisha is saying, Naaman, I want you to completely immerse yourself in Jesus. Completely. And maybe you don't have a spiritual birthday, but maybe this is God's message to you today. To completely immerse yourself in Jesus if you want to be healed. If you want to have a new start, a fresh start, a new beginning, a blank slate, completely immerse yourself in Jesus. But what do you think Naaman says and thinks when he sees this? Come on, say it. Don't be ashamed. No, man. Of course that's what Naaman's going to say. And so verse 11 says this. But Naaman became what? Angry. And he stalked away. And this is what he says. I thought he, Elisha, would certainly come out to meet me. He said, I expected him. Now, we'll come back to that. Hold on to that. I expected him to wave his hand over the leprosy, call on the name of the Lord, his God, not my God, his God, and heal me. So Naaman is looking for like a Harry Potter situation. You know, he's like, I didn't know I was going to have to do anything for this. I didn't know I had to like work for it. I just thought, I got to put skin in the game. I don't got no skin. So Naaman is angry. He's so angry, it says he stalked away. All week, I've been trying to think, what does that mean? I don't know. All I know is it's illegal to stalk, so it must be bad. So he stalks away. Now, I think we just saw one of Naaman's vices. He gets angry. I'm curious, anybody here have a vice? Or 37? Come on, be honest in church. Who's got some vices? Don't point at the person next to you. Listen, we all have vices. Now, we don't share the same vices, all of us, okay? We all have different vices. Like, for me, if you were to set up, if we brought in a table right now, and we set it up right here, and you put all the drugs on the table, okay, like a drug buffet. And so it's like weed, coke, crack, meth, catnip, Starbucks. Put it all out there, okay? Number one, I really wouldn't know what I'm even looking at. And number two, I wouldn't be tempted at all, thanks to the DARE program in the 80s. Come on. Now, if you put a Nicoboli on that table and tell me I can't have it, I will cut you. And just because I'm not tempted by the drug buffet people doesn't make me somebody better than anybody who would be tempted by that. But we all have different vices. And one of my vices is anger. Okay, and you might be like, oh, do you have like righteous anger, Pastor Joel? I mean, you could call it that, but I don't really feel righteous. And here's the thing. I don't cuss out loud. But my wife will tell me that I cuss in my head. She'll be like, you're cussing right now. I'm like, I'm having private thoughts right now. You're not allowed in here. And I get angry sometimes. And ever since I have kids, and my kids are, young-ish, okay, 8 and 9, nothing makes me angrier than people speeding through our neighborhood. Come on. Any parents get angry about people speeding through a neighborhood? I will citizens arrest somebody so fast. And so the other week, it was actually last week, and I'm riding my bike through the neighborhood, and I was having a good day. Like, my thoughts were, I was thinking, like, praise songs in my head, none of the bad words. I was thinking good things. And then I see this car, this little car. I call it like an Urkel car. You remember Urkel's car? I think we have a picture of Urkel's car. Remember this thing? Okay, this the car that's so small that if you farted in there, blow the windows out, Sorry, if you're new, welcome. It's a little Urkel car, man. And I see this car, and even though it's little, it is flying through my neighborhood at like 40 miles an hour. And your pastor, I am ready to church chop somebody. My kids live in that neighborhood. But then something wonderful happened. My neighbor, who I love so much, got angry before I did. He was in his front yard. I am not making this up. He starts running towards the road. And he's like, hey, you little turkey, you need to slow down, will you, little punk? And I'm like, I feel empowered. So I get off my bike. I'm like, yeah, you need to slow down. We go crazy on people who speed in this neighborhood. Rah! I'm trying to freak him out, like. And so I'm angry. My neighbor's angry. This guy, he's like, Wah! It didn't work at all. But I just enjoyed sharing that moment with my neighbor. My point is, we all have vices. Do you have a vice, yes or no? We all have vices. And Naaman's is anger, mine's anger. We have a lot of different vices. But what I love about Naaman's story is that no matter what your vice is, God welcomes us into his family, and he wants to heal us of our problems and our vices. But Naaman, he's angry. He's like, I'm not going to go 32 miles. I'm not going to take 7 baths in the Jordan River, okay? Like, I didn't expect to do any of this. Now, everybody say expect. So, that verse 11, if we could throw that back up there real quick. What's that say? I expected him. He's like, I expected him to just kind of heal me like, poof, poof, all done. I'm curious, have you ever expected God to just do what you want to do? Has this ever happened to you? Is it just me? Oh my goodness, we put our expectations on God all the time. Like maybe you're broke and you're like, God, I expect a 6-figure job. That's all. Also, I don't want to work nights, weekends, Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays. Or if you're sick, you're like, I expect the greatest doctor in the world. And also a really good friend who will set up a GoFundMe page on Facebook because it's very expensive. Or if you're single, you're like, God, do you see her? Woo. I'm going to need you, however, come over here and ask me out. We put our expectations on God all the time. But listen. Number one, God is not our cosmic sugar daddy. He does not exist to serve us. We exist to serve him. And number two, sometimes he does do what we expect. And when that happens, okay, you should just like get out your phone and do the praise hands emoji like 17 times. It's great. But normally, he also expects us to do something. Like we have to have some skin in the game. Now Naaman, he don't got no skin. And so they're like, he has to go 32 miles. He's got to dip 7 times in the Jordan River. But what does that mean we may have to do? That may mean if you need a job, you might need to go back to college if you want that 6-figure job. Or if you want the girl to go out with you, you might need to go ask her out, Urkel. You got to go over there because God, look, sometimes we got to have skin in the game. But God doesn't do what Naaman expects. He just expects a healing. And so Naaman goes off in verse 12. This is what he says. He says, aren't the rivers of Damascus, the Abana, and the Pharpar better than any of these stinking rivers over here in Israel? Why shouldn't I wash in them and be healed? So Naaman turned and he went away in a rage. Okay. Now, I just want to do a little test, a little quiz, see who's been paying attention. What river was Naaman supposed to get bathed in? The Jordan River. Okay. The best river, the Jordan River. Elijah said, you go, that's the one. That is the river. Now, if you ever have trouble remembering that the Jordan River is the best one, I think this might help, okay? How many of you know this is the greatest basketball player of all time? Come on, you know that? The best, okay? And that's why it's the Jordan River. It's the best. It's not the LeBron River. It's not the Steph Curry River. It's the Jordan. And so Elijah is like, hey, I need you to go to the Jordan River. That's the best river. And then Naaman is like, well, why has it got to be the Jordan River? Why can't it be the Damascus? Why can't it be the Abana? Why can't it be the Pharpar? Okay, why can't, no, the river doesn't matter, right? And here's why the river matters. Because the Jordan River represents Jesus. And there's only one way and one name by which we can be saved. And his name is Jesus. His name is Jesus. It reminds me of about a year ago, a buddy of mine called me, kind of out of the blue, and I love this guy. This guy is a super good friend of mine, but he moved away years ago, so we don't really talk that often. So when I saw his name on my phone, I was like, oh, cool, I want to chat with him. And so I answered it, and he's like, hey, man, I want to send you a gift in the mail. I'm like, all right, I want you to as well. He said, all I need is your address. And so I gave him my address, and I made him repeat it back to me 3 times to make sure it was correct. And so he got my address, and a few days later, this package comes in the mail, and I'm like, what is it? What could it be? Maybe it's like a remote control beach wagon. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? And so I opened it up, and it was not a beach wagon. It was 2 cigars. Now, let me just say this. I love my friend. But to this day, I don't know why he sent me 2 cigars. I don't smoke. The only smoking I do is checking out my smoking hot wife, and she is a smoke show. And so I got the cigars, and I called my friend. I'm like, hey, thanks. And then I gave them away. Okay, so somebody after the service is going to come to me like, hey, can I have those? Okay, no, they're gone. I don't have them. But imagine this with me. Imagine when my friend called and said, hey, what's your address? What if I had said to him, oh, that doesn't matter. Just get an envelope, write any address you can think of on it, and sincerely believe that it's going to show up to my house. And if you do that, I'm sure I'll get it. Would that have worked, yes or no? No, it's definitely going to the guy who just quit smoking. Like, the address matters. Doesn't the address matter? The address matters. And here's my point. You've probably heard, well, what religion you follow, it doesn't matter. All religions are the same, honey. All you got to do is like sincerely believe it, and that's good enough. Okay, who's heard this before? Yeah, we hear this. And go back to Elijah. Elijah's like, I want you to go to this river, the Jordan River, because it represents Jesus. And Naaman's like, well, does the river even really matter? Why can't I go to all these other different rivers? And it'd be kind of like us saying, well, why can't I be Buddhist? Why can't I be Hindu? Why can't I be Muslim? Like, all religions are basically the same, right? And if that's what you think, listen, I am not mad at you at all. Not even a teeny tiny bit. I am super glad you're here. But with all due respect, all religions aren't the same. They're not the same. Like, for instance, you can go to the tomb of Buddha today, and he's in there. You can go to the tomb of Confucius today, and he's in there. You can go to the tomb of Muhammad today, and he's in there. But if you go to Jesus' tomb, he's not there. Actually, there's a sign on his actual tomb. We'll throw this picture on the screen. This is the sign on Jesus' tomb where they think he was buried. It says, he's not in here. Don't come back tomorrow. He ain't going to be there tomorrow. Okay, he is risen. Jesus' tomb is emptier than some of y'all's bank account, than the beach the day after Labor Day. Like, it is empty. It is empty. And so all religions aren't the same. Listen, my God is alive. Amen. And he is the way, he is the truth, and he is the life. And we don't get to him without Jesus. He is alive. And so all religions are not the same. But Naaman's like, I need a healing. Can't I just go to any river there is? And so then in verse 13, his officers are like, come on now. They're trying to reason with him. And they said, sir, if the prophet had told you to do something very difficult, you would have done it. So should you certainly obey him when he says simply, just go wash and be cured? They're like, Naaman, quit saying, nah, man, this is so simple. Just take a ride and take a few baths, man. And so finally, what verse is this? What verse? 13. We've gone 13 verses of Naaman doing everything wrong. And so finally, after 13 verses, and a maid and two different kings and a servant girl and a prophet and a pear tree, Naaman finally does the right thing. And in verse 14 it says, so Naaman went down to the Jordan River, finally, the best river, and he dipped himself 7 times as the man of God had instructed him. Now, I think all 7 times he was like, this ain't working. Like, yeah, see, I'm still peeling like a banana. Still got dandruff all over the place. 7 times. But after the seventh time, he said the skin became as healthy as the skin of a young child, and he was healed. Come on, finally. He is healed. He's been peeling like a redheaded roofer for his whole life. And for the first time, his skin is perfect. Everybody say perfect. Now, here's what I know about people. Okay, Naaman dipped 7 times for perfect skin. Some of y'all do some crazy stuff for good skin. You do. And I've watched enough YouTube fail videos to know that one of them is a really bad idea. And it's called the charcoal mask. Come on, how many of you have done it or at least thought about doing the charcoal masks? Okay, some of you are like, don't make eye contact with me. Okay. Some of you are like, what is the charcoal mask? It literally is putting charcoal all over your face. Here's a picture. That's the charcoal mask right here. Listen, if you do this, you have problems. You got to lay off the charcoal or something. I don't know. And I've never done a charcoal mask. Can't you see my wrinkles? Because in my mind, nobody would do this to themselves. Like, have you seen them peel it off? Like, your skin, it's just like, okay. Like, no one would do this to themselves, right? Wrong, okay? Because one day I came home from work. And I walked in my bathroom, and I saw a stranger in my house. And I'm like, who are you, and what'd you do with my wife? And she's like, oh, you're your wife. It's me. I'm like, I'm like, Stacy, why would you do this to yourself? And she's like, I just want good skin. I'm like, you have great skin, but you're not going to have any skin in 10 seconds, okay? But she thinks it works, and, I don't believe her. But my wife has perfect skin, and I have more wrinkles per square inch than a nursing home over there, so I don't know. You'd be the judge. But people will do crazy stuff for perfect skin. Naaman dipped 7 times. And the thing is, we won't get perfect. Like, we're not going to have perfect skin no matter what we do. But think about Naaman's skin. He's an army commander. He is a warrior. So he's got calluses from the swords in his hands. He's got open wounds, scars. I mean, he's a cash cow for a dermatologist, this guy. And in one moment, all that aging, all the weathering, all those imperfections, poof, gone. Perfect skin. Somebody say oil of Olay. That's what he had. He had the oil of Olay situation. His skin is smoother than a baby's bottom. And it's not because of a charcoal mask. It's because he completely immersed himself in Jesus. And actually it says that he had like the skin of a young kid. Isn't that what it said? He had the skin of a young kid. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but you could almost say he was like born again. Right? Now, he was still Naaman. He still had problems. He still, had vices. He was still yelling at people in his neighborhood when they were speeding. Like, he was still Naaman, but he had a fresh start. He was born again, kind of like his skin. Which brings me back to your spiritual birthday. If you have a spiritual birthday, you should be so thankful that you get a fresh start every single day. Aren't you thankful that his mercies are made new every single day? Is anybody thankful for that? I mean, I am thankful for that. And if you're not thankful for that, you didn't have a very bad night last night, but you're going to have a bad night some night, and you're going to be thankful for fresh beginnings every single day. And if you're not born again, can I tell you why it matters so much? One day, Jesus was talking to a guy named Nicodemus. And this is the Jesus. And Nicodemus is like, I don't know why I should be born again. And here's what Jesus says in John 3:3. Jesus replied, I tell you the truth, unless you're what? Unless you're born again, you cannot see the kingdom of God. In other words, if you want to have a fresh start, if you want to be forgiven of those vices that we all got, if you want to be, like a new you, have that spiritual birthday, you have to be born again. And I'm biased. I am so biased, but I think August 6, 2023 is the best day ever to be born again. I do, because who else can say that Nick Lachey sang them happy birthday on their spiritual birthday? I think this is the best day ever for you. Now, let me tell you about, as I close, one of my best days ever. It was in October 2003 that I saw my wife for the first time. And it was in Georgetown. She came out of this house, and she was wearing this maroon sweater, and I saw her, and I was in the car, and I was like, I did not say, nah, man. I said, yes, ma'am. Come on. And so I saw her, and I was like, God, I did not know you had angels walking around Georgetown, but I am thankful that there's one right there, and I wish you would have given me a heads up, because I'm wearing this T-shirt from the Walmart that's not very cool, but I'm going to do my best with it. And so I stuttered all night that night. But if you, earlier on, and when I showed you my spiritual birthday, if you did the math, like, it looks like I was born again when I was like 6 months old. Okay, it's more like 6 years old. But it was like, listen, it could have been my mom's first sonogram. It was I was young. And so when I started dating, I wanted to date a Christian girl. Okay, hopefully one that was into guys who wore Walmart T-shirts. Okay, so that was my goal. And when I saw Stacy, I found out Stacy wasn't a Christian. And so I did something in the moment that I do not recommend. I became a missionary right then. I was like, all right, I'm going to get this girl saved, and then I'm going to date her, and then I'm going to marry her. And you don't have any say in it, smoking hot girl from Georgetown, that's what's going to happen. And so we weren't official. In October 2000, we were not dating. Okay, some of you don't know. What's official? That's like what you said back then. We were not officially dating, okay, nothing, okay. But I was officially on missions duty, and I was so corny. I'd be calling her, I'd be like, hey, how you doing, girl? I wonder how Jesus is doing right now. She'd come over, and I'd be like, hey, did you let Jesus take the wheel on the way over, And so I went, corny in October, and then in November, I pulled out all the stops, and I got her this Bible, right here. And we actually have a picture we'll show you on the screen so you can see. I got her name written there at the bottom. And then on the inside, I put my name so she wouldn't forget me. And so I got her this Bible, and I gave it to her, and I'll never forget, we were in between classes. We both were going to college, and we're in between classes, and she was over, and we're just talking. And I just went for it, guys. I was like, maybe, would you like to get born again right now? And I was thinking, if you get born again right now, then maybe we can start kissing right then, you know? My motives were not 100% pure, let's be honest. But I was like, you want to get, born again? And she asked the same question that Nicodemus did, like, why do I need to be born again? Why does that matter? And I explained to her a lot of what I explained to you guys today. And in that bonus room, here's another slide I want you guys to see. In that bonus room, Stacy had her spiritual birthday. And she got born again right then. Coincidentally, this is also the day we started dating, and I started kissing her. Okay, so I did the Lord's work first, all right? Don't judge me. Here's my question to you. Is today the day that you get born again? Because I think today is the best day in the world to have your spiritual birthday, to get a fresh start, and to be born again. And so here's what we're going to do. I'm about to say a prayer, the same prayer really that I said with Stacy 20 years ago in that room. And if you're not a Christian, you're not born again, would you just, and you want to be, if you would just say this prayer out loud with me, and if you sincerely believe it, that's all you have to do. That will make this day your spiritual birthday. And if you already are a believer, I want you to say this out loud as well, just to help folks who are saying this for the first time. And then I got you a birthday card. I did, okay. 25 of these, actually. There's a little less from the last service. But I wrote today's date on it, August 6, 2023, and I wrote happy spiritual birthday. And after the service, I'm going to be out in the lobby, and I want you, if you say this prayer for the first time today, I want you to come and get your birthday card from me. Now, I know, some of you, I just lost you then. You're like, I can't do that. Listen, it's a birthday card. There could be money in one of them. I mean, this is simple. No, but I want you to come get a birthday card because you don't need to be embarrassed. I'm so thankful that Jesus wasn't embarrassed to hang naked and bleeding on a cross for me. Aren't you thankful for that? And so we don't have to be embarrassed to get a birthday card. And so let's just bow our heads, all of us. And if you're a believer, say this after me. And if you want to be born again today, say this after me. Jesus, today I'm choosing to follow you and to make you the number one person in my life. I accept your forgiveness, and I need it because I'm a sinner. But I believe you died on a cross, but you walked out of a grave 3 days later so that my sins could be forgiven. So today, Jesus, this is my spiritual birthday. Thank you. In Jesus' name. And everybody said, amen, amen. Can we just give it up for the folks who said that for the first time? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.